The history is known, and obviously Council later on will be voting on a resolution to deal with heritage homes in Pickering. But I think it's important to talk publicly about what we've seen happen on those lands and the trajectory of where we're going. When I had an opportunity to sit in this chamber, and we saw the homes that were there deteriorating, we heard the stories of people who were going through horrific ordeals with the federal government that just seemed to be distant and didn't care. I was extremely upset, as I know all of you were. When I was elected member of Parliament, I was convinced that we had to change that we needed to establish a moratorium, that we needed to have a list of what homes could be saved, which had the most important heritage value, and ensure that communities like Rome and others weren't erased from the map. And at that time, we were able to secure a moratorium, an agreement to do exactly that, and also to change the management of those lands to an independent third party with a clear mandate to take care of it and to protect that heritage. Unfortunately, when a new government was elected in 2005, those promises and that moratorium came to an end. And we saw a resumption of policies that, frankly, are a direct attack on the history of this community. And I think we've reached a point now where first they tried to bring bulldozers right up to the doors of these buildings, and we had some successes in stopping them. And we took them to the tribunal, and we had some victories there where actually the provincial tribunals called the management of the lands in essence abhorrent. And so they decided on a new strategy, which was to stop taking care of the homes, to allow them to begin a rapid state of deterioration, to not re-tenant them, essentially destruction by stealth, to allow the buildings to get to such a point that people could point at them and say, well, look at it, it's a dump, knock it down. So what they couldn't do directly, they've been trying to do indirectly. And the result, as you drive around northern Pickering, is evident. Our heritage is being lost. Communities are being erased. It is not just these buildings that make this a tragedy. It is not just the connection to our heritage and our history that contextualize who we are and where we come from as a community, but the fact that real people live there. Many of you have had an opportunity to talk to people who've gone through the ordeals of living in homes for multiple generations, of those homes being refused to be taken care of, ultimately having to move out because the problems were so severe. There comes a point when you have to draw a line. When we say as a community, enough is enough. And I want to thank Council, who I know has worked very hard on this issue. I want to in particular point to the ward councillors, Councillor Pickles, who was elected with me as well in the year 1997 at this council, and also to Councillor Rodriguez for standing up and saying that. But it's going to take a lot more than just words. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more than even the petition we're doing or speeches that I'll give in Parliament. There has to be a clear sense that Durham as a community isn't going to take this anymore. That this is our heritage. This is too important to let just be bulldozed into the ground. And that it's a strategy to simply eliminate the voices that might oppose an airport, and let's call it for what it actually is. It's important. I'm not here to have the debate about the airport tonight. You all know where I stand. I think it's a terrible and disastrous idea. But the point here is that even if an airport were to proceed, there is no reason for this destruction. And so whether it is in these chambers or at the region, we need to speak as one voice. We need to say in communities, not just in Pickering, but in Uxbridge, and Whitby, and Clarington, and Oshawa, and Whitby, wherever it might be, that our heritage is important. And that an attack on Pickering is an attack on the heritage of our communities more broadly. Tonight's an important step. I appreciate Council's support of that. And I'm here to say to you tonight that I'm here to do everything that I can as a member of Parliament to cease this destruction and move back to some common sense. Thank you.